Hey everybody, welcome back to the Gulf Coast Huddle, brought to you by Lone Star Gridiron. Each week, Chris Daly and Mike Foreman break down all the Texas high school football along the Texas Gulf Coast. Now, strap on your gear and let's go.
Lone Star Gridiron is looking for interns. Over the years, we have helped dozens of students get jobs in sports media. If you want to shortcut your path to a career in sports media, click on the internship link on LoneStarGridiron.com. Hey, do you need topsoil, fill dirt, sand, mulch, gravel, limestone, you name it? Do you need that delivered and or spread? Texas Tree Cycle in Victoria has you covered for residential and commercial projects, big or small. These guys do it all. They do some amazing work. You can call them at 361-237-8006 for a free estimate. That's Texas Tree Cycle, bringing quality materials to your yard. All right, everybody join me in welcoming Mike Foreman to the show. Mike, how are things?
Going okay, Chris. How are you doing?
Doing well. We, as you know, was at the Ganado game last Friday, and the book sales went amazing. I have
Good.
your book, by the way.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and the thing about Ganado, and they did this against Weimar, they started off slow. They were down 20-7 early on in the game.
Wow.
Of course, they stormed back and won it 42-20, but I think I just don't see, they can't do that in the playoffs. They just can't.
No, you're right. It's weird. It's funny because after that, in that Weimar game, after that first possession by Weimar,
mm-hmm.
they totally shut Weimar down.
Yeah.
But I think that might be the sign of a younger and experienced team.
Yeah. Yeah, they just have to get woke up, and then they play.
Yeah, it's like the inconsistency you worry about.
Right, and then the other team I think of when we're talking about this is Cuero.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the fact they have no defense whatsoever, they too just somehow fire up when it's crunch time, with the exception of that Rockport game.
Yeah, well, that game was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, and to be perfectly honest, I can't say much about Sinton's defense either.
Right. No.
I mean, and I will say this about Cuero. I thought the tackling was much better.
Good.
That was partly the issue, but I thought the biggest issue for them was either blown assignments or being in the wrong place,
mm-hmm.
which is different than tackling. And I'll say this, that Micah Green, he's a really good running back, and he is a load to tackle. So I understand why he's got a lot of yards. But there were times when Cuero was just totally out of position.
Yeah.
And then, the whole thing was incredible to get two onside kicks.
Yeah.
One is amazing enough, but two, I give them credit, though. They never quit. They could have quit in that game because when Sin went up by 20 points, that was a sacked fumble return for a touchdown. And, at that point, you thought, man, this game's over. And but they didn't quit. They came right back and scored, got the onside kick, scored, got another onside kick and scored. And then they almost blew it at the end.
Yeah.
Because they left the running back wide open in the flat. And what happened is they blitz, which, that's fine. But still, you've got to have somebody covering the flat.
Sometimes.
And nobody was. And I'm going, oh, my God, he might score. And if it hadn't been for the kid that tackled him, he would have scored because last guy there, and he made a great tackle on that play.
Yeah, I was stunned. I watched that one online too, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I don't know if something happened to Sinton's kicker or snapper or something, why Sinton went for two, when it did, because Quayle stopped him.
Right.
And that ultimately was the difference in the game, at that 1 point. So, but the bottom line here is if Sinton beats Rockport Fulton by more than 1 point, Sinton is the top seed. Quayle will be second and Rockport third. Because I was checking with Coach Feacock at Quayle, and he said they decided all by points. There's no head-to-head.
Really? I did not realize that.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Texas high school football is every district has their own tiebreaker.
Yeah, so, and realistically, too, if Rockport were to beat Sinton, then Quayle would be second anyways because it head-to-head over Sinton. So, actually, Sinton would have two losses then. So, you're right. Every district, it seems like, is different. That's why I always ask because
you have to.
you never know what way they're going to go with their playoff thing. But that there's no doubt what you said is true. Quayle's got to improve on defense. Although I will say this, you look at that region, and there's nobody actually that stands out. Wimberley.
Right, and that's what I was going to say about Ganado too. When I was mentioning that they can't do that in the playoffs, they can as long as they're in our region.
Right. I mean, really, I'm thinking. I'm looking to week 3 again with Refugio and Ganado.
Yeah, and as usual, Refugio's flowing through everybody because they have no competition.
Yeah, and
they're not tested.
No, they're not, and it's not their fault.
No.
But, there's really nothing you can do about that. I think what happens sometimes is because of that I'm sure they're working on Ganado. You know what I mean? And that, especially like last week when they had a bye, I would think they'd be working on Ganado at that point. So, so at least they're preparing for that. It's weird. I mean, they got Freer this week, and Freer got beat last week by, I believe it was Santa Maria, or with somebody. I think it was Santa Maria. So Refugio's the only unbeaten team in that district. So, and I mean, they should just cruise through their last couple of games.
Yeah, they definitely should. I do think, though, that could come back to haunt them because, like I said, they're not tested. You look at Cuero and Sinton, Cuero won the game after being down quite a bit. So they were tested, and the kids can now believe, hey, we can win tough games. That will carry them further come postseason.
Yeah, I agree. And not to mention, you look at their non-district schedule. I mean, they had a good one, a perfect example is Lavernia, which beat Bay City the other night. So it looks like Lavernia is the favorite in that district right now.
Yes.
I know it was early in the year, and it's sometimes hard to gauge from the, early games. But, there were some surprises. I don't know if you noticed about Shiner and Falls City.
It is a close one.
Yeah, Shiner, from what James Kruska, who keeps stats for Shiner, told me they had to make get a fourth down stop to win that game.
Wow.
So it was 21-14. So, that's another thing right there. And then, I don't know what's going on over there, if they've got injuries or what.
Mm-hmm.
But, they're going to end up playing either Chilton or Bremond.
Right.
And those two teams are really good. So Shiner's going to have to play well to get back to state. It's not going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah, I agree. And that reminds me of Industrial. You wouldn't think with two wins this year that these next games make a difference. Because they beat Rice Consolidated, Bowling next, that's a very important game for that last playoff spot.
Right, that's a huge game because you look at it right now, and it sure looks like Tidehaven, Brazos, and probably East Bernard in the top three. But that fourth one seems to be pretty wide open. So that's why this game this week is huge. Industrial could win this game and get in the playoffs, perhaps. So it's a big game, and of course they have Bowling at home, which helps. So,
and that's homecoming, I believe, too.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Tidehaven. They're 7-0. They just took care of Van Black pretty easily. It will be interesting. They will finish the season though with East Bernard, which
that could be. Rice, of course, plays Tidehaven this week, and I don't see Tidehaven having any issues with that.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and another team we ought to mention is Goliad.
They did. They knocked off Orange Grove.
They smashed them, in fact.
Yeah.
The thing about that game, Lamont Franklin, he touched the ball 6 times, and he had 339 yards. Get this, I talked to Coach Salazar. They only ran 25 offensive plays in the game, and because they were scoring a lot. And what Franklin did, his first 3 touches were touchdowns. He caught 2 passes and he returned a kickoff for touchdowns. And he also had, I believe he had a rushing touchdown as well. So on 6 touches, he had 4 scores.
That's crazy.
So that's pretty crazy. So, and they turn around now and play Edna. And, that's huge because if Goliad wins, then it's probably going to win the district outright. But if Edna somehow beats them, you're looking at a possible 3-way tie. So between Orange Grove, Goliad, and Edna.
Right, and then the last playoff spot there is pretty open too. I would guess London, but or maybe West Oso. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just don't know on that one.
Yeah, you're right. That one is wide open, and we'll see. We'll see what happens there. And the other thing that we talked about, Ganado, I think it's pretty obvious they're going to win that district.
Yeah,
and you would think Weimer might be second, but Weimer still has to play Kennedy. And
that's going to be interesting because you don't know. I don't know either team, Weimer or Kennedy. They both have shown signs of being like they could be stepping up to the next level, but then they also show signs where, okay, maybe they're not there.
Yeah, it's weird because, Weimer beat Schulenburg, and Schulenburg pretty much handled Kennedy.
Yeah.
But, we'll see what happens. I mean, Kennedy gave Ganado a game. And so, it's going to, that may determine a lot of things too. And the thing is, like we've said about that district, you do not want to be fourth because you catch bacteria right off the bat. So, that would be the thing there. If you finish in the top 3, I'm not sure how good Santa Maria is. We play the 3rd place team. But if you finish in the top 3 in that district, you have a really good chance of winning your first playoff game.
Yeah, right. And then who's it? Yoakum lost to Columbus.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I was not expecting.
No, not that score like it was. I mean, I happened to just speak to Tom Kelly by accident, who's the superintendent over there in Yoakum today. I actually kind of dialed him by mistake, and he called me back, and we talked a little bit about that game. He said they had some opportunities. They just didn't take advantage of it. So, and they've got the bye this week, and then they have to play Hitchcock.
Yeah, exactly. So, and this is one of those districts where only one team doesn't make the playoffs. So,
most likely it's going to be Hempstead. So.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think Hallettsville will pick up a win, and they'll get that 4th spot. Yeah,
and the other team that I was kind of disappointed. I don't know what to make is Gonzales. I thought maybe they were turning a corner, but then they got pretty much handled by Navarro.
Yeah.
And, but now the Gonzales plays Wimberley this week, and Wimberley eked out a win over. I'm not sure if it was. I'm trying to remember who it was. It was one of those teams in that district. It wasn't Salado. I think Salado was the one that beat them. It was the other that it beat them. I'm trying to remember, but they got a 1 point.
Yeah, it was Salado did beat them.
Yeah, but it was
they beat Gerald in overtime. Which I was shocked that Gerald put up that good of a game. But then, like I've told a lot of people, I don't think this Wimberley is a Wimberley team of the last few years.
No, I definitely don't think. I think they're pretty young, and So I mean, we'll see. I mean that. Like we talked about, that region I think it's up for grabs. And, the thing about that is if you can win that region, then you go to the semifinals and, you don't know who you're going to get there.
Yeah, right.
Who 4A Division 2, because you don't have to worry about Carthage until the final. So, we're assuming Carthage is going to be there. Although, the only team I think that might is Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove has a really good program, but I'm not sure if they're strong enough to take down Carthage.
Right. Well, and you mentioned the Gonzales district. 13. That's like a topsy-turvy world because in the past it's been Wimberley, Lago Vista, Navarro up at the top. Now they're all sitting at the bottom. Salado's sitting 3-0 in district, Gerald 3-1 in district, and then Gonzales. So to me, that one has flipped completely. So I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see who comes out of there and can they even compete.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see on that. I don't, like we said, usually it's pretty much guaranteed that Wimberley is going to be the team to beat, but not this year. And then of course you have the district which everybody makes the playoff, which is the Woodsboro district.
Yeah,
and basically there, what you're trying to avoid is 4th place because you get Shiner first round.
Yeah.
And I know La Villa pretty much smacked Woodsboro last week. And so we'll see how that shakes out. I mean, and from what it sounds like, maybe Fall City's gotten it together a little more. And I'll tell you, Yorktown with Brody Metting, a quarterback, is no pushover.
Yeah, right. And that's going to be the last game of the season, Shiner and Yorktown. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, of course, we'll have to wait and see how Yorktown does against Falls City. But that kind of be a tell. And, of course, our local boys here, East has got to go to Bernie Champion, and West comes back home after two
straight losses,
2 tough losses. They play Harlandale. I think we can handle Harlandale, but the sad thing about that is it looks like West is going to be on the road again for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, it looks like they're locked in because both their opponents are teams that are ranked below them. McCollum is behind them right now, but they have one less game played, so they could catch them. But Victoria West has the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think it's pretty much going to be West in third. I'm not sure who's going to come out fourth.
Right.
But, and then of course poor East. I mean, I think they still have Smith and Bell and Piper left.
Wow. It just gets worse.
Yeah, it's not good. And so and then I have to mention St. Joseph. I'm going to give them a plug because they've only lost one game, and that was to Fort Worth Christian. And they opened district. They got to go to Brownsville. And I think that game might be for the district championship. Thing about Brownsville, St. Joseph, their record isn't that good, but they play 5A, 6As, down in the valley. Mm-hmm. So, their level of competition is higher than what most of the TAPS teams play. So, and of course, you got that long bus ride, but we'll see if St. Joe can pull it off. Being in a 14 district, I mean, I think they play SAC, San Antonio Christian. If they don't win this, I think that game will determine second and third.
Right.
And quite honestly, hasn't been very good. So, and of course, we've got the Wharton playing Katy Harmony. I'm not sure what the deal is with those teams. I guess are they charter schools?
I think so. I'm really not sure.
But I mean, they get killed, and I mean, it's like I just don't quite understand it. But except I think Katy Harmony beat Sugarland last week, and it also has a forfeit, so it's actually got 2 wins. But I think on the field, it hasn't scored very many points.
Right.
Yeah, I always wonder about, I guess the UIL has, they have to put them in the district. It's kind of reminded me when, was it East Side, Austin, Pension, when Quail was in that district?
Yeah.
God, I mean, that was Jordan Whittington's team. And I actually went and saw one of those games because they played on a Thursday night. I mean, gosh, it was, but by the end of the first quarter, I think it might have been 28 or 35-0.
Wow.
So, and Quail pulled its starters, obviously.
Yeah. And before we went on the air, you had said you were in Bay City today?
Yes, I was in Bay City and El Campo, actually.
Both.
Yeah, so that's a great rivalry, of course.
Oh, it is. And that doesn't get any better.
State's oldest continuous rivalry, and it's just special. I mean, it usually has some implications, but even when there were a couple of years there when it wasn't a district game, when El Campo had dropped for a couple of years, it's just great. I mean, and so many things have happened in that game. That right now Bay City has won the last 2, and you have to go back. I think it was from '98 to 2005, and that was a lot of the Chad Morris teams.
Yep,
that's Bay City won those games, but they hadn't won that many in a row since that time. So El Campo at one point had won 16 out of 17. So they dominated for a while. So we'll see.
It should be good because both are good teams.
Yeah, and basically it looks like this game may decide second and third.
Thanks.
So, there is some implications there. Unless El Campo, unfortunately, gets Bay City and Lavernia back-to-back, which is not what you want. But same thing happened to Bay City. They get Lavernia El Campo back-to-back. So, and then El Campo No, I think I got that wrong. They will play Calhoun, and then they'll play Lavernia on the final week. Whereas Bay City will play, they get, I think, Beeville, and then they play, the last week, play Calhoun.
Right.
So, yeah, that's always fun. I love going out there and talking to Coach Jones and Coach Reed, two really good guys. So,
yeah, they really are. They're very good.
Yeah, of course, you get a chance to talk to Coach Reed every week.
Well, actually, I this year we're not doing the El Campo one. We're doing Cal Allen still. So I talked to the other Coach Reed.
Yeah, which, by the way, he had a rather interesting game, didn't
he? Yeah, he sure did. Oh, moly.
Yeah,
I tell you, it is a fun time of year.
What, he kick a field goal? They kicked a field goal or something to win it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Travis was telling me today. So, and I'll tell you who the team I think you got to watch down there is Miller. They were struggling, but they beat Carroll, and from what I'm told, they have a freshman quarterback that's pretty special. And of course, a freshman's going to have some growing pains, but. I think Miller might be a team to watch in the playoffs. And I'm not sure if they're going to finish second. If they do, then West would match up with them in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what they might have met last year in the second round, I think. Actually, that's what it is. I think it's the second round.
Yeah.
But, so that's going to be that'd be interesting if those two teams meet again.
Yes, sir. Well, we could talk all night. We probably should pull it to a close, though.
Yeah, I think so. Are you going to go to the Industrial game this week?
I don't know. I was considering a couple different games just because there's so many good ones.
Right.
So I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I always go to Bay City El Campo. It's like I joke and tell people it's one of the one rivalry that's older than me. Also, Goliad Edna's another one that.
Yeah, exactly. There's several that have pretty big implications, and they may not be district championships, but like you said, second, third. There's a lot of those going on, and there's some teams I haven't seen yet in person. Obviously, I've seen all of them on film, but yeah, you just don't. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, well, be sure to, all you Ganado fans out there, be sure to check out the book, because I'm sure it's got a lot of good history in there, and especially now when Ganado is enjoying some of its best seasons.
Yeah. And thank you. By the way, we were interviewed on by Shauna Curie at Channel 25 to talk about the book, and it'll be out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a couple of different places.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So, well, Chris, you have a good week, and hopefully the rain will stay away Friday and come Saturday.
I don't care as long as it comes.
Yeah.
Maybe not torrential downpour, but I don't mind it being here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, today, Chris, I ran into it. I ran into it in Markham. I ran into it outside of El Campo and even outside of Victoria. But
yeah, I saw it in the distance, but we didn't get a drop.
Yeah, so it just kind of depends on where you are.
Yeah.
But well, you have a good week, and hopefully you get some moisture.
That sounds good. Thanks a lot, Mike.
See you, Chris.
Bye.
Coaches, boosters, parents, every sport deserves a spotlight. From football and volleyball to basketball, soccer, baseball, softball, track, wrestling, and more. Give your athletes a weekly coaches show that builds pride and raises funds. Lone Star Podcast Network makes it turnkey. You talk for a few minutes. We handle production and distribution. Sponsors love it. Families share it. And your program benefits. Get the free information kit at lonestarpodcast.com/coaches. That's lonestarpodcast.com/coaches. Your team, your sport, your show.